Hey everybody, so today I wanted to talk about my running journey and how I went from not even being able to run a mile to running my first 5K. So yesterday was the day I ran my first 5K. So I woke up, took the train over to the park where I was running, got ready, ran my first 5K. I finished 15th out of 42 people with a time of about 27 minutes. So I'm pretty proud. I was the youngest person there who ran the 5K and I took 15th place. And I think that's pretty good for my first 5K. And now I have a time to beat for next time I try. So when I first moved to Chicago, I could barely run a mile. I never really enjoyed running. I've always wanted to be able to run farther distances, so I would go out and run at home, but I never enjoyed it. I never got very far and it wasn't going anywhere. My distance was never improving. So once I got to Chicago, we have a couple of treadmills in my dorm building here, so I took advantage of those and started running about 2 times a week. And even now I only run 2 to 3 times a week. I don't run every day. So when you're running, I recommend having a really good playlist or a good podcast to listen to, just something to do, especially if you're on a treadmill, because it can get very boring. So I would go through and make these long playlists of songs, and I would tell myself, okay, I just got to get through this song. And once that song's done, I would be like, okay, maybe just get through this one more song. And you have these kind of intervals where you can stop and say, okay, I just got to get through a little bit more. And even if you don't want to go through a whole song, you can say, okay, I just got to get through one more verse. And then you tell yourself, all right, just got to get through the chorus. And you can just keep pushing yourself to go farther and farther. What also kind of motivated me was when other people were in the gym with me, they would come in and I would be running already and be like, okay, I want to run farther than them. And so I would keep going until they were done. Or if they would start running, I would start running and I would try to just go farther than them. So I never really knew the people running next to me, but they would push me to go farther than I normally would because I would just want to outrun them. Clothing and shoes are also a big portion of running. I found when I wore a sports bra and shorts, I could run farther than like a t-shirt because I get very sweaty when I run, so I need to be able to cool off easily. So whenever I wore a sports bra, I could cool off a little easier and I felt myself running farther. For shoes, I just have a pair of plain Nike shoes. I'm not even sure what kind they are. You don't need to go out and spend $100 on a pair of tennies when you can get good ones for under $50. So having a running buddy is a good and a bad thing. I've always ran by myself because I've never really had anybody to run with. But on the good side, they can push you to keep going. On the bad side, you might have to slow down for them. So it really depends. If they're a better runner, then they can push you to go farther, but then you might be slowing them down. But if you're a better runner, then they might be slowing you down, but you're pushing them. So it's kind of 50-50. It's up to you. I've always just enjoyed running by myself because I can listen to music and not have to worry about the other person. So I always keep track of how far I run. Whenever I'm done, I just write down how many miles I went. Like for September, I have just a little list, how many miles I went every day I ran. In October, I have a new little list going, and I try to go a little bit farther each time, or even if I don't, that's okay. But I like to keep track and see my progress, and then at the end of the month, I can see how many miles I ran total, and I can push myself to run even farther the next month. But it's nice to have these little goals for yourself to go a little farther or a little longer each time. So going out and actually running the 5K, I was actually like kind of nervous at first. Everybody else there looked very experienced and I was the youngest one who actually ran the 5K. But I'm really proud that I pushed myself to keep going and actually taking 15th place. It was really fun to, get your bib number, and I actually have it hanging up on my wall right now because I'm proud of myself for doing this, and whenever I look at it, I get happy because I did it. So people normally say you should eat really well before a race and like the night before. I didn't. I ate some pizza and like spaghetti and not good food, and I felt just fine. The only thing I had in the morning was like a bowl of Honey Nut Cheerios, so I mean that was fairly healthy, but the night before I didn't eat well and I didn't really notice a difference, I don't think. So eating I don't think plays as huge of a role on yourself, at least it didn't for me, but that may be different for other people. So I used to hate running and now I love doing it for fun. And I feel like if you don't love it, it's going to be really hard for you to improve because you're just forcing yourself to do it and it's not fun. It's like just a chore, like, oh man, I gotta run today. But if you enjoy it and you're like, alright, I got some good new music to listen to, it's just some time to be by myself and run, then I feel like it's easier to improve. So that's it for this video. If you enjoyed, please consider subscribing or leave a like. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section and I will get back to you as best as I can. And thank you for watching.